Connecticut, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of Chip's Unnamed Local Band Show. Tonight we visit with Mercy Choir, Killer Kowalski, and the Mendition of the Quay. Check it out. Connecticut, what's going on? We are down here in Bushnell Park in Hartford, and standing next to me is Mercy Choir, the one-man jam that is Mercy Choir. This is Paul. Paul, what's going on, man?
How are you?
I'm all right.
Good.
Beautiful summer day, and we're here to talk about his band and his new album. Let's start there with the new Mercy Choir record,
Sure.
which is called
The Very Great and Horrible Harshness.
The Very Great and Horrible Harshness, which I have to tell you is one of the best album titles ever.
Thank you.
So, first of all, the album title, where'd you pull that from?
I pulled it from partially my brain, and it is partially a reference to, I don't want to give too much away, but it has something to do with wine.
I'm always fascinated by one-man projects, first of all, I have to say, because there's millions of them out there now with the advent of, Pro Tools and the internet and everything. So is it a conscious decision for you to record as a one-man jam, or is it just kind of something that happened out of necessity?
It's a little bit of both. I would say it's a little more of a conscious decision. I like to have creative control over things, and generally it's because if someone makes a mistake, it's my fault, and I can blame myself.
Let's talk about the record, because I think it's a fantastic album.
Thank you.
And it's got sort of that 60s psych folk pop kind of feel to it. I liken it to some of Syd Barrett's solo work after he was booted out of Pink Floyd, and
Right.
But yet there's sort of an indie rock element to it as well. So, I mean, for the uninitiated, how would you describe Mercy Choir?
This particular album, like I think all my albums, are quite different from one another, so I don't know if I could quite throw out a phrase that would encompass the whole Mercy Choir project, but generally people say folk. A word that I like to use and other people seem to like to use is psychedelic. Not necessarily referring to drugs, but maybe a cerebral sort of something that makes you feel groovy, which is what I'm aiming for.
And then he drops groovy on us, so it totally fits into the whole thing. This album sounds a lot different than some of the other stuff that Mercy Choir has put out there. Specifically, the two full lengths kind of sound very different. So why go in this direction on this album? What were the influences? Where were you drawn from?
This particular album, the sound of it came 100% from the way it was recorded. I intended to record sort of more of a folk album that was mainly acoustic instruments, but I started fiddling with my iPad and found that the sounds I was getting from it sounded different from anything else I'd ever done. So I decided to go that direction, and the way the album sounds is unlike anything else I'd ever done before, and I'm happy with the way it sounds.
That's a great segue. So you actually recorded this entire album on an iPad, correct?
Yes, indeed.
On an iPad, people. This is a commercial in the making is what this is. So how easy, or maybe not so easy, was it recording everything to an iPad versus maybe more traditional recording routes?
It was the easiest, most rewarding, most enjoyable recording experience in my life.
He's really pushing for the commercial, I'm telling you. That is a fantastic... I've never heard of a band record an entire record on an iPad. This guy accomplished it, and it sounded fantastic. What then are the plans, immediate and long-term, for Mercy Choir?
We're right now working on writing the next record, which I think will be quite a bit different from The Very Great and Horrible Harshness. I have some shows coming up in September, October that I think will be solo shows. You never know.
You never know. You can check them out on Facebook. The entire album, The Great and Horrible Harshness, is up for your listening pleasure on Bandcamp. Make sure you check these guys out, this guy out. Fantastic stuff. We're going to go into a song right now. You're going to play for us?
Indeed.
And it is?
Called Gun.
Gun. Check it out.
I have got a gun. It's the only gun I need. And every time I shoot my gun, it's so much fun indeed. Oh, I have got a war. That is what my gun gun has set them free. Oh, I am just a man with a gun in his right hand. And every time I shoot my gun, it echoes in the sand. Oh, I have got a war. That is what my gun is for.
Connecticut, this year the Advocate Weekly papers and CT.com have combined to make Grand Band Slam one of the biggest and best things that Connecticut's ever seen. On Wednesday, September 12th, you can join us at the Bushnell Theater in Hartford for the first annual Connecticut Music Awards, followed by a weekend of free music September 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Visit CT.com for more details.